We'll give folks a few moments. I am still battling the crud. I thought I was over it, and I've been having these bouts of coughing that would put anybody to shame. So hopefully I'll be able to get through the broadcast this morning without coughing all over everything. Good morning. This is Dr. Teresa Smith, Dr. TAS. Welcome to Dr. TAS Coaching Moments. Please like, share, tag this video. Please like, share, tag this video. This week we've been talking about developing an action plan, and so I wanted to conclude that this morning with part 3. We started out talking about letting God set the goals for your life so that we're not operating out of His plan for us. Then we asked for God to provide direction or the strategies to implement or to achieve the goals that He has divined for us. Then we've got to select or set realistic, achievable goals. You don't want your goals to be so far-reaching that you don't have any success, but at the same time, you've got to determine what your focus is going to be, meaning what area of your life, whether it's your spiritual, your physical, your mental health, professionally, education, what area are you wanting to work on? Then we talked about you've got to ingest and digest the Word of God so that we're able to understand how what we're doing aligns to His purpose. You've also then got to find a church home that actually feeds you. And we talked about it doesn't have to be the church that everybody attends as long as the church actually feeds you. I believe that when you go to church, you should be able to walk away and that message continue to feed you throughout the next week and throughout the next months and sometimes the next years. I had an opportunity to attend a church years ago, and I'm still listening to sermons that the minister preached because they still minister to me. And so that's my barometer, how I measure that. Also, it talked about you've got to seek out people who can pour into your life. We're sometimes always pouring into other people's life, but you need people who can pour into your life as it relates to your particular goal. So what I'm saying is you may have many mentors. Sometimes people think you only have one mentor. No, you have mentors for different aspects of your life. And so seeking out that spiritual mentor that God has ordained to be of support to you as you go through your path. Then I talked about you got to capitalize yourself. And by that I mean you've got to invest in yourself. We spend so much time investing in other people, but we've got to take stock of who we are, then provide the resources to grow that person. So whether that's podcasts, webinars, conferences, books, you've got to invest in yourself. So today I want us to finish up this series, and I want us to think about making your effort count. It doesn't profit us to have all of the things that we've been talking about the last 2 days, but you're sowing in the wrong field. You've got to sow in the right field. When you sow in the right, then you're able to bring forth the right fruit. Now, I'm not much on gardening, but I was talking to my father yesterday, and he was saying that he was pulling up okra stalks. I don't know what that even means, but I'm assuming that he was taking out that last set of plants that he had planted in his garden so that he could prepare the field for what he's getting ready to plant now, because we're basically in the beginnings of the spring season. So that's what I'm saying to you. You've got to make sure that your efforts are going to bring forth the proper fruit. So that means you got to do a little investigating. So you've got to make sure that you're sowing in the right field. Then you've got to make sure that you are doing some heavy lifting. And by that, I mean, you've got to examine yourself. Sometimes we don't want to examine who we are, but this is just for your knowledge. You don't have to share it with anybody. Examine who you are. What are your strengths? Are you a psalmist? Are you a technologically savvy person? Are you a writer? Are you a musician? Are you an abstract thinker? Are you a visionary? Whatever you are, then that is the skill that you need to refine. And by refining, I mean you cook. Then this probably, you can go to Johnson and Wales or another, training program, community college and learn to cook, but you wouldn't want to just step out, being a caterer when you don't have the skill set. So whatever your strengths are, you've got to cultivate them. And that takes time, but it also takes you being willing to do the hard work. So do an honest examination of yourself and then figure out what you need to refine in order to improve the God-given skills that you have. Then you've got to be a flexible, lifelong learner. Now, I'm an educator by training, but I was an educator long before I had training because I've always wanted to learn, and I'm always challenging myself. So you've got to be a flexible, lifelong learner. So in addition to all the training that you're going to get, you've got to surround yourself with that spiritual mentor who's going to give you feedback. As you continue to progress, you're going to learn from your experiences. You're going to learn from the good, the bad. You're going to learn from the knowledge. But there has to be a spiritual mentor that you have trust in, that when they give you feedback, you're able to be open and flexible and then ingest that feedback. Sometimes it's going to be positive, sometimes it's not, but that's okay. Critique it and then determine where do you weave that into your plan. Just because the feedback may not be positive, it doesn't mean that it's not valuable. It's always valuable, and it's up to you to determine how you're going to utilize it. Everything won't be positive as you go through developing and implementing your action plan, but you will learn from everything. Believe me, you learn from every step of your life. So again, the last 3 steps are you've got to make your effort count. You got to make your effort count. You don't want to sow in a field that's not going to bring you the fruit that you want. Then you've got to examine yourself. You don't want to start just spinning your wheels, doing things that are not helping you. Then you've got to become that active, flexible, open, lifelong learner so that you're learning through the process and you're accepting the positive and sometimes feedback that is going to cause us to grow from your mentors. Okay? This process that we've been talking about for the last 3 days, it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's not a one-time process. You continually go through this process every day. You will go through it with each step that you're trying to accomplish. That's what life is about. It's not quick and simple, but you can reach your journey. Don't measure your progress against anybody else's. Just continue. Some days you'll make more progress than others, but the thing that you want to remember is as long as you're making progress, you're doing what you should be doing, and you're one step closer to God's plan for your life. Again, this is Dr. Teresa A. Smith, Dr. TAS Coaching Moments. Please like, share, and tag. Please leave me comments. I like hearing from you. I hope that what we've been talking about the last 3 days, developing your action plan, will help those who are sort of trying to figure out how do I get started. And I hope that for those who are already in the process, that it will just reassure you that you're doing the right thing. Make it a great Thursday, and I will see you another time. Please like, share, and tag. See you later. Bye.